Sit down, take a chew or two, money till we get it. Ball, let it cool, was ain't talking. Money speak, all that bullshit, keep it. Run the side,
I would. I'm always like, even on the Ricky Gervais show, I'm always a big Steve Merchant fan, you know. So like Robert's a Steve Merchant in this situation. Just the more level head. Like, I don't know about all that, guys.
Yeah. Robert has made a promise to not say a single racial slur this entire episode.
Finally.
Yeah.
What's that, JT?
Oh, that is what made it popular in the first place.
It's that Zaza that I was talking about. I learned the term Zaza for weed. Now I can't stop saying it. A cool older guy said Zaza in front of me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you're like."
That sounds like the fucking whitest shit I've ever heard.
I don't know, dude. I heard
calling it Zaza.
That Zaza.
It sounds like very Gen X, like 90s stoner kid. Like, yeah, bro, let's get the Zaza, and then we'll get some waves and eat some Zaza.
It sounds like something a white kid heard from like a Rasta, like when they visited Jamaica.
You were mentioning this is happening in real time. I saw an older guy. Maybe he's Rasta. I don't know. No, he was bald. So definitely not Rasta. But a cool older black guy said Zaza. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm calling it Zaza. I said, oh, yeah, I can smoke the Zaza. In fact,
hey, you've ever been to Memphis?
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Got no business there.
No, Memphis, Egypt.
No, I haven't.
Oh. Well, both of them have a pyramid.
Oh yeah, you know what? I drove through Memphis, because I was driving to Nashville from Austin. So I did notice the pyramid. That was nice.
Is that the Bass Pro Shop?
Yeah. It's a Bass Pro Shop, and there's a hotel in it.
It's right on the other side. Like you're passing, you go to another state when you pass over a bridge there, right?
Yeah.
They're going into Tennessee.
Okay. So I've been there
from Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, one time I did comedy in Little Rock at a pizza place.
Oh no.
One of the worst shows I've ever done in my life, especially because like the people that were excited to do it just had no intention of not talking to each other about the comedy that was going on.
Wait, the other comedians?
So no, I was the only comedian.
Oh yeah.
I was on tour with a band. I opened for that band Boohoo. That's what I did. I took a summer doing comedy opening for a band.
When was this?
2015, 2016? 2016, I think. I think it was 2015 or 2016. I can't remember.
I remember that shit too.
That was wild. That was...
Well, you've done a couple of tours like that.
What I did after a while, I did this with the band Vampire, is I would go on tour with them, but I would book my own shows in that city. So I got a free ride. I got to hang out with my buddies, and I just got to do local comedy shows. The worst thing in the world, though, I had a show planned in Denver. I go to Denver. I show up for the show, and the bartender's like, oh, that got canceled like a few days ago. And I emailed the guy, the comedian that had booked me. I was like, hey, I'm at the venue that you said you booked me at. And he's like, oh, man, sorry, it fell through. You got to come back in a couple weeks. And I was like, I'm on tour. I remember putting it up on Twitter with this girl messaging me and being like, hey, I just showed up for the show. Where are you? And I was like, yeah, dude, it got canceled.
Dude, you know what still surprises me, JT?
Tell me.
When you submit for like a legitimate comedy festival, you have to pay a fee, like $20, $30. And it's funny because I remember this, one of my buddies told me a story that he got scammed with one. Like basically they were like, yeah, it's going to be at this comedy club in the city this weekend. Like send in your submissions. And it was the person who was running the scam was like a pretty like well-known, respected comedian. Obviously not after. But my buddy told me when he went to he had to go to his bank to be like, hey, I need to cancel that charge. Like it was a scam. And then they're like, okay, well, like I guess the guy over the phone was like, okay, well, you know, this obviously looks like a scam. Like, why would you pay to get into a festival? So he had to explain to like this guy at the bank how that's like a normal industry thing. And the guy was like, I still don't believe you.
Having to explain to a banker what a bringer show is.
Yeah. Festival, because I was going to ask, what about it looked like a scam besides the fact that it looked like a comedy festival submission form?
That you have to
exactly.
But I mean, you know, I guess you do have to pay. Yeah, man, what's the upside? And speaking of someone who's like paid, you know, to do festivals, it's like, what is the upside? You go out there, you don't really get paid for the shows. You don't usually get put up really. You meet people, you network, and they book you on other shows that are going to pay you $20 in your local market. You know, but I mean, I don't know. I've done a few festivals and felt like, yeah, it's worth my time. But I guess I don't know. Once you, I don't know. I don't really miss them right now. Now that
I
I'm not
did Shreveport and Boise, and they paid good, and it was
Oh,
fun,
see,
and you got
yeah.
to see rock music and stuff like that. And I was like, this is nice. This is nice. But typically, I think that's the only festival I've done. I don't know
Shreveport and
festivals in
Boise,
that.
huh?
Well, you
Shreveport.
did get into the Dallas Comedy Festival right before COVID.
Oh yeah, that was gonna be fun. I don't know if they were gonna pay though. They were gonna pay, right?
No, we paid them because it was like a $20 fee, and then they're like, "Yeah, we'll hook you up with someone in the city for like lodging." I was like, "Oh, so you're gonna find me a couch?"
Yeah, I got an Airbnb. I had to cancel that Airbnb.
Yeah.
Wait, are they doing that festival again? Can they just have me back?
Well, I followed up with them like months later, and they never replied. But then it was basically like a year after we submitted. I saw that the club and like the owners who were booking the festival, like they fucking shut down.
Wow.
So
I'm so curious too who was running that comedy scam, and it just seems like so much work to get like $20 out of somebody.
But $20 out of 100 people?
yeah.
Is like $2,000.
Yeah, I couldn't do the math. Thank you.
no, yeah. I mean, but that's still paltry, you know.
Man, but I mean, I don't know. Hang on, $2,000 sounds sexy to me. I wish I would have gone the route where I just did bringer shows and like
it's paltry for a scam. If you're going to ruin your whole reputation, ruin it. You know, at least shoot for hundreds of thousands.
Is a bringer show a scam? You think?
Oh man! So an argument that I heard recently was like, well, every show's a bringer show. You know, they only book comedians, you know, like who are going to draw and sell tickets. So like,
not as they're booking me.
Looking to yes, but I, you know, that's the point. That's what I've heard, and that's like what people in LA have said to kind of like justify bringer shows. But I mean, there's certainly bringer shows that are predatory. There's certainly bringer shows that are scams. Like, are all bringer shows scams? Maybe
I think all bringer shows. So I remember the first time I did a bringer show, I didn't know what it was. And for anyone listening that doesn't know what a bringer show is when a comedian rents out a comedy club or a theater or a venue, and then goes around to open mics and finds comedians that are just starting out, and he goes and says, "Hey, I'll book you at," and says something like, you know, the Punchline, Helia, like names a club because it's the club he rented out because he has a reputation. He's, you know, a working comic. I'll get you on that show if you can sell 10 tickets. Can you get 10 people to come see you comedy? And these, you know, these young, dumb, and full of cum joke ass comics, they are like, let's go. And they do. I remember the first time I got literally
and they're so confident that they can.
Yeah.
And then they're already like, man, if I could sell 10 tickets right now and I already have like a solid 10 minutes, they don't. Then yeah, and then they come out, and sometimes their friends are very generous, so then they leave that show thinking that they did extremely well.
That's me at 18.
Yeah, I definitely dropped out of bringer shows too, just because, you know, I got a shady vibe. And I haven't done bringer shows in a while, but like certainly when I first moved to LA, it's like kind of your early path to stage time, like on a real stage.
Bringer shows?
Yeah, kind of. Or people book you and then they'll be like, hey, do you think you get 5 people? And like, you know, a lot of times they don't check, and that's kind of few and far between. And then like pretty much every club, people are like, hey, it'd be great if you could get people to buy tickets, but
I think
not
that's
as much pressure.
If you're paying me to do a comedy show and it's in a city I have any type of people in, I'm gonna put it online. I'm gonna, you know what I mean?
Right.
I got you. But like, if you are asking me to do your show and I'm like, yes, I would love to, and then it's probably like split a tip at the end or something like that, and you're expecting me to try to bring people out to your show, where it's like, dude, I'm getting like 7 minutes. You want me to ask people to come watch me for 7 minutes? And you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
And I'm sorry, what was the rest of your story with your bringer show experience?
Oh, first time I saw someone on a Facebook comedy group was like, hey, who wants to do a show at the Comedy Store in Hollywood? And it was in a NorCal comic Facebook group I just joined. I just joined Facebook for the first time.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God. And I commented and I posted a video of me doing stand-up in the comment, having no clue that was like annoying and shitty. And I was like, please let me do it. And then a guy that had just came out with an album that had like a good rep, I think his name was Jason Bove or something like that. He commented and was like, hey, whatever the guy's name was that was doing it, I watched this video. He's fine. You know what I mean? Like pretty much like he'd
Pass.
pass. You can do a bringer show. I was fucking on 10. I drove down to LA. I like invited.
I made it.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was telling everyone I knew. Yeah, I got booked at the Comedy Store in Hollywood. I was
Never
so
heard of
excited.
it.
And then
Left the key in the doormat.
I grew up in LA, and so I had a bunch of random friends come out. And my best buddies lived in Santa Barbara at the time, so they drove out. So I brought the most people. So the guy booked me, knowing I was fucking an idiot, was like, "Hey, dude, you're gonna headline tonight." He was like, "You brought them. You're gonna headline, man." And I was like, "Oh my god,
that's how it works."
Yeah,
that's how headliners get jobs. It's like they show up with the most friends.
That's dude. I had no clue. That's not how it worked. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, oh my god, I did not stop talking about that for like a good year until it took a long time for me to set in. Like, oh shit, that was just a shitty bringer show that anyone could do. I did it.
How was it? How did you do? Like, how was the show itself?
I did horrible. I was bad at comedy. I did so bad.
But,
I mean,
but did you walk away? Okay. Your friends left after you did your set?
Oh, no, my friends laughed.
Oh, they laughed. Gotcha.
Like, they're my friends. Of course they laughed. I was young. Of course they laughed. You know what I mean? Like,
so it was a bad set, but did you walk out feeling good about it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
That's awesome.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I missed that
really
lack of self-awareness.
First bringer set, JT fucking tops it.
I got
He was one and done on that shit.
Yeah. He's like, should I just retire from comedy? Like, I've already perfected the craft.
Walk away on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because I mean, are they still doing bringer shows at the Comedy Store?
Yeah. Yeah. Every club has some kind of
bringer shows. Are the meanest thing. It's so
mean. I feel like
they
kind of disguise them. I don't know. They don't overtly call them bringers. You know. So it's like they're now like kind of experimenting with gray. Like so many mics are paid mics. Like you know what are called the slotted mics, and it guarantees you 5 minutes. It also guarantees you. At least like 10-ish people watching it, so it's like,
and you pay them to do it.
It's like $5 for a 5-minute set for a lot of those. Wow. Yeah, kind of like practice. And those are like a lot of the ones that are close to me, like a lot of the most convenient ones. And like in a way, you're almost paying $5 because then you show up. And I hate like buckets and lotteries too.
Yeah,
it's just a bitch to get stage time in a lot of ways. It's comes at a premium there.
That is like that. I mean, honestly.
Even though there's so many opportunities,
That's the thing when people ask me about the comedy scene in Austin is like, oh, I can't just walk into a mic, know the host, get 5 minutes to people. No. I hate it now.
Even if you do know the host, they're still like, hey, and you have your $5?
Yeah, fuck that. I couldn't imagine paying to do comedy. I like doing comedy. Don't get me wrong. I don't need to make money doing it. I do it for free all the time, baby.
Yeah.
JT, do you remember like right before the pandemic, that guy moved to town trying to do the Roma room?
Yes, was it the Roma room?
Yeah, like I mean now it's that back room at like the Brass Tap or whatever in the Domain, but this guy from LA like moved to Austin, was gonna rent out like this boarded up office building and basically make it this sort of like Chinese water torture type of like you pay for open mic time. But the other thing was like
annihilated.
It was
right. He just got graded. Yeah, that's funny.
No one liked that idea.
I had just moved to LA when that happened, so I was like, oh shit, like because I walked in and I was like, this is how it is in LA, and then like immediately that happened, and I was like, is this like something that's just happening and people are getting wind of it? But then they kind of like beat him back to wherever he came from, right?
I mean. So never came to fruition.
Yeah, exactly.
But I remember in the post he was like, "I will lock the doors so the crowd and the comedians performing cannot leave."
That's a fire hazard. That's a threat.
People
he literally he tried to make it a selling point that he's like, no, like when you sign up, like you cannot leave until the entire like show is over. Like I lock the room. And it's just like, dude, that like get ready for the hounds.
Yeah. Oh, because he was like,
it was funny to watch Austin just turn on him because I just showed up to LA and being like, wait, is this normal? And then this guy's like, hey, I'm here in Austin doing this, and then everyone just like, just eviscerated him.
Ridiculous.
That was so funny.
The idea that like if it's like Friday night and it's a good comedy, I want to watch it. Right on a Wednesday, 7 p.m. You couldn't pay me to stay at an open mic. You know what I mean? It's not
till they shut. Oh, also in those and I guess that's the thing too, because we're conditioned for open mics to go like 3 hours. It's like they do like kind of every hour on the hour. So it's like, I mean, in Austin we feel conditioned to like, it just drags on people's names. And then you have like, oh, I'm going up 42nd tonight, and goes in. So you don't really have like, I guess in LA they're like, they keep it organized. That's what you're paying for too, is I guess you're guaranteed to not like, you know, but at the same time, you know, I'd just rather show up and put in my name and, you know, and just do my thing and then leave and don't feel like you have to stay there the whole goddamn time.
That sounds fair. I like the organization, right? Where it's like, I know the time I'm going to go on. I'll go do that. I'll do my time. I'll get out of there. That's fine. That's good. I go, okay, awesome. But what I hate is the idea where it's like, I'm going to spend $6 in gas. I'm going to spend 30 minutes parking. And then I'm going to pay to tell my little stories, to get up there and tell my little stories. I got to pay to tell my little.
That was
telling
my
little
strategy.
stories used to be a gift from God that was free.
I had to be.
God gave me the right to tell me my little stories. An open mic host doesn't give me the right to tell my little stories. God gave me that divine right. I have a divine right to tell my little stories, to do my little bits, and then man,
life,
come up
liberty, and telling your little stories.
Life, liberty, and my little bitty stories. Yeah.
The 3 tenets of the Constitution.
That's all I want. I want to tell my little. I want to, I want to be a little silly. I want to eat. I want a place to sleep, and they're trying to make me pay for that. That's a human.
But I guess now devil's advocate over here. But you could tell your little stories anytime, anywhere. You're telling your little stories right now, not having to pay for it. I guess it's just in that format. And it's a corporatization of it, you know. It's just a corporatization of like comedy, and it's, you know, it's hard to stomach in a lot of places. You know, it's like I get times where I feel for exactly the reasons we're talking about, you know. And then when you dive deeper into like, you know, how, you know, certain people get booked, and you know, how it's not always conducive to who's best joke writer, you know, who's necessarily been you know, who's honestly that good, you know, at this point. It's I don't know, we see, you know, just you know, having to do that grind and then seeing who walks away with like some opportunities like right out the gates. That can be disheartening.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my dad's Lee Greenwood, singer of God Bless the USA. I think I'll do a comedy club.
Wait, you know, because this is something like
my first bringer show was with her, man.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Is she funny?
Who is it?
The Lee Greenwood's daughter, who's a comedian.
Do you remember her name?
I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
She's nice. I really enjoyed talking to her.
Yeah, because I don't think she goes by Lee. Like, she doesn't put her name in the bucket. They're like, okay, and Lee Greenwood's daughter, you're on deck.
Greenwood's daughter.
Coming
I know she was on
stage. Well, she was on. Okay, all right.
But not one of them.
But she's pivoting. You know what's so funny is like comedy is the ultimate last ditch pivot. You know, I was a reality star, so now I'll do comedy. I was you know, I don't want to call it specific professions because then people will be like, you're talking about me. But
Did you do comedy or acting first?
I was an actor first.
Pivot. You pivoted.
Yeah, I did pivot. Comedy. Well, okay, but now the truth is I started comedy as a means to kind of more like supplement my acting career in a way, which I know no one really wants to hear. But because I saw that my favorite actors, Robin Williams, Adam Sandler, Nick Swartz, and like when I was growing up, like you know, those I was like, they're all comedians. So I really forced myself to do comedy. And it was like a really steep learning curve because it was nothing like theater. I was like, I've done theater, I've done musicals. Comedy's going to be,
You're like, I got this.
But that did not translate to like good early, you know, like I was not good early on.
I wasn't good for the first like 6-7 years I did comedy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that.
I'm still not very good. You know what I mean?
I think the same with comedians going into acting.
Do you guys seen Casey Rocket do comedy?
Oh yeah, I did 2 shows with him back to back.
Funniest guy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
it makes me sick to my stomach that you can do that. It was like the first time I saw Avery Moore, and I was like, "Oh, I suck at comedy. I hate this." So I saw Casey Rocket, and I was like, "God fucking damn it! This is the best shit I've ever seen in my life." I was like, "Why am I not?"
Casey would even tell you this. He had actually shared this because I took a photo of him, and he said one of the most jarring bombs of the 21st century. Because I did 2 shows with him, 2 brewery shows. First show just like annihilate, you know, just did everything that you described, and then the second show is out in Dripping Springs Brewery. Different circumstances,
shows, right?
Exactly.
I did both those. They're great. Yeah,
I did those with him back to back like this week. You know, I was in Austin, and then the second show, it was just like everything you might think would go wrong, like with that, you know, just his style, and he's funny as fuck. And I'm telling my dad like, you don't understand, like because my
this
parents
is good.
I
promise.
Show.
Yeah,
I was like he annihilated, and like I feel for him too because he's introduced where like, oh, he's just been crushing everywhere and doing so already. These like. You know, Dripping Springs folk are like, okay. And then he's just like, y'all take Robitussin. Jimmy Carter hates me, bro. And I'm just like, okay. I was dying. You know, I was having a great time. And
I would love to see him bomb, especially if he keeps it up the whole time.
Yeah, and that he did
in Dripping Springs.
Yeah.
Isn't dripping. Yeah.
But someone in the back was like, "Get a rope."
It was not like
I remember before we were doing a
Were they
show.
just like, "Who the fuck is this kid?"
Oh, totally.
Okay.
And like me and Andre, because that was the show my family came out to. Me and Andre are a little bit like after the show telling my dad, no, like you don't understand. This guy was just like he crushes and all this stuff. And then I was like,
His comedy's just on another level. You just don't understand it yet.
no, and this is also like not even like my theory. It's just like what we see in comedy. But like that was at a brewery and it was like pseudo outdoors. It was hot and muggy.
Mhm.
You know, like the show where he and like everyone had a good show at the first one at Last Stand Brewery.
Yeah, this is great.
But it was like the perfect, it was dark and then good lighting and everyone's all
Engaged
packed
crowd.
and-
They're all regulars.
yeah.
They've
And
seen comedy. They enjoy comedy. They expect comedy.
right. And then here it's like open, it's hot, it's more open space and also there's no real stage. So like, maybe it helps to have him like pacing like almost on a stage, so like
You
otherwise
didn't just walk in.
like parading around. Yeah, you're just walking, be like, whoa, you're close to my table.
I would
dude.
love to see him with like people circled around him, like
Oh my god, in the round,
Like a pit.
theater in the
like
round.
a pit. Yeah.
Great pit. I
yeah.
guarantee you.
Floor
yeah.
level. Maybe give him a small podium to stand on.
Yeah.
And he can go wine wedding. A little crowd walking.
Assemble forthright before you know.
Dude, he is. Oh man, his comedy makes me sick. Like I literally, my stomach will hurt.
Do you see yourself like is that the kind of comedian like I don't know like you what how do you this is a question that most people who are not comedians will ask and you'll sound so you'll like hate that they ask it, but since I am a comedian I'll ask, how would you define like your comedic style?
It's all about
like,
unity.
Unity,
Unity.
I
Bringing
like
people
that a
together.
lot.
That's the answer I give. Whenever someone says that, what's your comedy about, or what kind of comedy do you do? Because they don't know. They know they'll say, do you do deprivating comedy? It's the only type of comedy they've ever heard a name for it. But they go, what type of comedy do you do? I go, oh, my bit's all about unity, bringing people
Oh,
together.
that's good.
I love to say
I
that.
can't even be mad about that
Nice
because it's also a
storytelling.
really good answer.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not. It's just bullshit.
I was like, whether you even mean that or not, it's as good of like a concise one word.
People
answer.
either appreciate it or they give like a follow up, like, oh, so like it's what is it about? And it's, I mean, like, I
About
know
bringing Christ into comedy.
I'm
JT
bringing
Kelly.
comedy.
Oh
Austin's
yeah,
premier Christian comedian.
yeah, and
No
I'm
jokes about.
rebrand too. And
I rebranded to Christianity.
How's church been? Well, and
Oh,
you describe it as a
great.
rebrand, and then you say like, "Oh, but I really believe in it."
Oh
So
yeah,
it
it's
sounds less genuine when you describe it as a. They
great.
don't say I've rebranded to Judaism. It's usually like
You could
converted. or
rebrand to
something.
Judaism, rejected
Yeah.
free time.
Yeah, they would.
And then
Look what
you can-
Bob Dylan did.
What did
You re-
exactly?
Well, no, it was Bob Dylan rebranded to Judaism, became Robert Zimmerman for a while.
really, I
JT's doing the same thing.
no, I rebranded to Christian. That's a lifelong commitment. And
Yeah,
if I,
I mean-
change, it'll be like Simon. Oh, my name is now Paul.
Oh yeah, but with the original 12. You
No,
just go
actually,
straight to Jesus.
actually, it's just a guy I met at a coffee shop. Killed me. Buy weed from Bob, taking his name.
That's so fun because you'll connect to people in a way that they're like excited to connect to you, and then you give them this curveball that like really frustrates them, because you're like, oh, I've converted, I renamed, or I've rebranded, not converted to Christianity, and people's like already like, okay, I've renamed myself to Paul after one of the apostles. Oh no, just this guy I met at a coffee shop, and then like you'll show up at a Taekwondo tournament, and this guy will be like, oh, so good to meet a fellow, and then you're like, yeah, aren't you excited to do karate? And then he's like, oh.
My favorite part about jujitsu is calling it karate. That people, because you
Oh,
either think
jujitsu,
it's
no.
funny and they're like, oh yeah, it's fucking karate, or it's like, actually, it's completely different than. And it's like, yeah, dude, guess what? One time I swear to God, a guy at jujitsu asked me if I take it seriously,
Yeah.
and like a very like, do you take this seriously? And I was like, oh, my wrestling class? No, I did. This is my hobby. I like to do. I like it. You know what I mean? But it's like, do I take this seriously? No, man, I don't.
So to them, that's the equivalent of like, one of those comedians who just waste your time, like waste everyone's time when they go up. You
Oh,
know
yeah.
what I mean? It's just like that guy's like, why did you put your name in the bucket?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
why did you sign up in that?
The
kind of
open
thing?
mic hobbyist.
Right.
The like poor dad who doesn't want to hang out with his wife every night.
Right.
That's my least favorite type of comedian is the guy that starts doing open mics because he fucking hates his family. And he wants to find like a supportive community that can help him hate his fucking family.
And also,
no
like,
respect for those dudes.
and to communicate in a not so subtle way.
Yep. How much
Yeah.
he felt. I no respect for those dudes. Oh my God. You made a choice, dude. You made a choice. Oh, you want to be a family man? You gotta go be a family man. Yeah, I can be a comedian forever. I ain't got a kid. The second I have a kid, it's not like I'm gonna be like, dude, sorry, you got to take care of the kid 24/7. I work full time, and then I also go do my little open mics now that I'm 40. I decided to start doing open mics. Started when I was a baby, dude. No way out. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you're 40, you should have a job that gives you the health insurance to get a therapist.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't really,
You see a therapist?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm loving therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. I'd, been in treatment like a few times, and then this latest one started with this therapist a couple months ago, and it started 2 to 3 months, but it was hell getting an appointment. Like, it was just the most frustrating fucking series of like hurdles and pieces of red tape to cut through. Yeah. So that was like a whole thing. That got me like super down, and so it was like the sheer irony of like, I'm looking for help, and like y'all are like fucking me up to the point that like when I first met my therapist on Zoom or whatever, it's like I was like broke down. I was like, y'all fucked me up, Yeah. And so I was like, now I got to spend a whole session on doing all this shit.
Yeah. You can't cry in front of your therapist. That gives them too much power.
Yeah.
I would never
I read
cry
that
in front of my
somewhere.
therapist.
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
I do mine on Zoom. I pace the whole way. I will be in control of the conversation.
Yeah.
I interrupt her mid-sentence. You know what I mean? I will not lose control of the conversation.
Yeah.
And pace it. Sometimes I put on a full suit.
Meanwhile,
slick
they're
back my
just
hair.
like writing on all the things they got to prescribe you.
It's funny because like you don't see. I only see her from like the chest up, and so I can't see that she's writing. But every now and then I'll see her glance down that she's writing. And I always want to be like, "What do you write down? What are you writing down right now? What are you writing down? Who are you giving that to?"
One time,
Just bring your own notepad, JT.
Take my own notes.
it's going to be a mutual assessment.
Or no, just the next time, because when you're like, yeah, I pace around, it's like, what are you trying to do? Like some time for her?
Yeah, I think JT probably is doing.
Like I'd rather pay a professional than some chump at the open mic.
It's hard to do comedy. I mean, it's hard to do therapy, and like I have to be really serious, and it's like, but also I'm still like I'm never off. Like I'm always making little jokes. And so it's like it makes me question, like, I'm taking this seriously, even though I'm making my little jokes the whole time. I can't not make. And she'll ask, like, well, so what would happen if you didn't make a joke right then? And I'm like,
she can say that.
Yeah,
good for her.
Yeah, and I'll be like, a fucking demon will come out of my closet and stab me in the head. I don't know. I've never had the option of not. I have to make a little joke. I can't help it. Yeah. And like, yeah, what would happen if you didn't laugh after you said that? I don't know. I have no clue. My body just just do it. I have no option but to do a little laugh, do a little.
And
bit.
then she's like, "Your body not doing that is because of your father." And you're just like, "Fuck."
Yeah. Oh, therapy's been great because everything's my mom's fault.
Yeah.
My God.
Welcome to therapy.
I had no. I thought I was fucked up and like mentally ill or something. It's like,
but
no,
it's
dude.
but at the same, it's not even her fault because of her abuse.
I haven't gotten there yet. you've been doing therapy a little longer,
bro. This is what
He hasn't reached that tier yet.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
I'm at great grandfather.
Yeah.
I still have a couple more.
Brian's at a level 8. I'm at a level 6. JT, you're still at like level 3.
Brian's
You at least got to be at 4 to get like past the next generation.
Electromagnetic things right here. I'll tell you what your level is right
Brian's on like the fucking depravity of man level of therapy where he just sees it all. He's back to original sin.
I'm back to Scientology.
Yeah, dude, you should do Scientology.
I mean, I should. If we're talking about good career moves.
If you want to be an actor, if I lived in LA, I would do Scientology. I would rebrand because you can be a Christian and a
do you think you could
Scientologist,
stand
right?
up to their vetting?
Yeah.
I wonder what they're. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
They're scary.
You stalk
They're
me,
scary.
I'm not gonna mind it. You know what I mean? Make me a targeted individual. I love attention. So it's like, my house, awesome. I love other people's. I need that. I feed off other people's energy. I love it. Bring it on. Record me and call me a squirrel buster or something. Chill, dude. Awesome. I love that. Record me. Make me a star, baby. What are you on YouTube? Let's do this. Worst opinion on that. I could do Scientology.
There's a killer seafood restaurant right by the Church of Scientology. So every time I found an oyster, shout out. But every time I go, and actually I took my parents there last time they were in LA. And such a morbid curiosity with the Church of Scientology. We like walked up and down. Like I've walked through that walkway a couple times. And there's like a Starbucks right. It's like there's this restaurant, church, and then a Starbucks. So like just to like get a little drink at the Starbucks, you gotta cut through it, and you just gotta everything's normal. See all the people in their suits nodding, sharing pleasantries with one another, kind of like pseudo making eye contact with you, but knowing like heretic,
I think that like what's worst case scenario if you join Scientology? You don't get famous and you lose all your money.
Well, I guess worst case is like you're in it for life.
Yeah.
So maybe you do it because you have this goal that's more of like a short to midterm goal, but that's not like a life.
You want to be in Handmaid's Tale? You want to be
I
a
mean,
star?
I would no, I would love to.
You want to be a star?
But here's
Scientology.
what scares me is like now I have to live by someone else's rules permanently, you know, for my life in
Whose rules
order
you living
to.
by now?
I mean, more or less my own, and it's cost me. I think it's cost me opportunities to not like directly align myself with like one super community, you know. That's like, but that's at my own, you know, at my own cost. Like I'd rather just do my thing on my terms and live a life that I like. Than
Have you
like,
considered Judaism?
yeah,
I think you should do one of
not
them.
like yeah. It's just
Or
I don't know.
Christianity, obviously. Obviously, Christianity is a great one.
So my dad's dad was Jewish, yeah, and I went to a Jewish preschool.
Are you
I just
serious?
have, but I'm also confirmed in the Catholic faith. I've received First Communion. I have
What, are they
such
gonna
a
kick you
weird.
out? Oh, you're Catholic.
I
That's a
have
great
a
one.
weird.
Boom.
Yeah, like my mom is Cuban Catholic. My dad's dad was Jewish until this side of the family was from Odessa, Ukraine. But at that point, it was like around the formation of all the aggressive pogroms against Jewish people, and so there's like a mass exodus. They came to the U.S. and then my grandfather kind of saw World War II coming. Was like, they don't treat Jewish people so nice here. And then he made a deal with his parents after his bar mitzvah that he wouldn't have to be Jewish anymore. So
Wow,
like,
it's like when I got Eagle Scout, my parents let me quit. Boy
that's
Scouts.
exactly what it was like.
Yeah.
He had been Eagle Scout of Judaism and then quit.
Get out of there.
And so then my
Nicki
dad's
Minaj performed
pretty
his bar
agnostic.
mitzvah or something.
Nicki Minaj did not
Okay,
perform.
that'd be an excellent special guest, in my opinion.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of Jewish friends like within the Jewish preschool, so I went to all the bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs when they happened.
Nice.
That was a great time. But yeah, once again, it's like 1 foot in Christianity, 1 foot in, you know, like kind of everything else.
Old
But
school Christianity.
old school, yeah. The guilt-
Christianity is just rebranded Judaism.
yeah, Catholicism is
Rebranded Orthodox.
it's very, yeah, I don't even know like how you. I mean, there's such an emphasis on the Virgin Mary, you know.
Luther
La
rebranded
Virgin,
Catholicism.
specifically,
We got Protestants.
Latino Catholicism or Cuban Catholicism.
The spiciest of the Catholicisms.
It is. Oh my God, my cousin had like the 3-hour like a wedding that was the length of the Lord of the Rings like trilogy.
Damn.
Director's cut.
Yeah, at least one of the director's cut for sure. And it was like a very strict like Catholic kind of a wedding. But
My bro Zach got married Catholic, but he's not Catholic, and so he had to get it confirmed in the Catholic Church first. And they only do that like in like a short period if you're in the army. So he faked being in the army, shows up to Catholic class, and he signs a document promising some dude that every time he comes, it will be inside his wife. And I was like, damn, bro, I'm a little Catholic for real. I was like, okay, you signed a contract with God saying you got to blast inside. I think I might have a little bit of Catholic in me. I'll be
these
honest. It's like a
contracts
little-
are why I stay away from institutional like
Yeah,
religion.
I don't
You know,
know, dude.
those you're gonna have to sign something or do, you know, give up some. You're gonna have to tithe. I don't want to tithe, I guess, is a big part
Just
of it.
fucking looking at a dude who's never had sex in the eyes and being like, yeah, I promise every time I blast, I will do it right inside. That is it. And it's like, do you bumping fist with him? And it's like, you know, a dude made that rule up.
Yeah. And I think that's just like an excuse for him to like always, you know, bust inside his wife. He's like, honey, like if I don't do it, you know, I gotta come inside.
God wants this.
God doesn't want me to wear a
This is a
condom.
divine command from God himself. That's
So
incredible.
it said bust inside his wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Had
It
to
wasn't
bust
just like
inside.
bust inside ... And
No,
then
no,
he's
no,
like,
no.
ooh, loophole. You know?
No. He had to do every time he blasted.
Because the
Had to
Bible's
be
full of
inside his wife.
loopholes. Like, oh, I can't have a baby, so have sex with a maid instead. You
Nice.
know?
That's
Yeah.
a good loophole. That is quite the loophole. You know
Yeah.
the term kinsman redeemer?
Kinsman redeemer.
I know it from the story of Ruth, where it's like if your brother dies, you have to marry his wife. So when I was like 11 or 12 years old, I made that joke to my brother's then fiance. I said, technically, Stephanie, I could be your kinsman redeemer one day. And my whole family was like, nah, chill.
See, why haven't the Bible that line to describe like Hunter Biden marrying his dead brother's wife? You know, it's like,
It's a kinsman redeemer move.
yeah,
He is an absolute kinsman redeemer.
yeah.
Dude, Hunter Biden.
If he ever
number
wanted
one
to relate
kinsman
to,
redeemer.
Republicans hate this guy. If he was just like, guys, I'm just a kinsman redeemer,
I'm a
they'd be like,
kinsman-
he's all right.
I want her to have a spot with me in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. trying to do a billboard, baby. Rubbing in the I'm trying to do a billboard, baby. Rubbing in the I'm trying to do a billboard, baby.
Awesome.
You want to talk? Do you want to talk sales, JT? Do we even have time?
We don't really have time. We
Yeah,
have
that's
like
cool. That's
only
cool.
a couple minutes. I got to shower and get to the karate class.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You got on at like 11:20.
Yeah,
We only got 30 minutes right now.
30 hot minutes.
Tell us about sales. What type of sales?
Ryan, how long have you been in sales for?
I've been in sales. I mean, in a way all my life, but like I guess in terms of like selling software and phone sales and like call center stuff, 5 years now.
5 years. It's pretty great.
Years. Yeah, man.
Pretty great.
It's been a ride. It's paved like an opportunity to still pursue my art, and it's still kind of aligned with like still developing like a communicative skill set.
Mhm.
So that's helpful and kind of can translate to comedy. At the same time, you also have like, and now especially I have my moments where I'm like, man, I'm really ready to like go hard and full on in the arts, and in some fashion or another. So that's a lot of good things. I still enjoy it, but it's just been amazing to watch you and like how you've come up, because I don't know if like the average listener will know this, but you describe yourself as a telemarketer. You're a very, very talented account executive.
I'm an account. I love.
You're
the
an account
different
executive.
business
You're a
titles you get.
salesman, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a sales rep through and through. Like you understand process, you understand rapport,
It is fun. I just like talking. That's the
you
craziest
understand
thing.
problem solving. You understand
Yeah.
that's like part of.
No, he understands how to get a sale. He knows about closing.
He's a hard closer.
I
JT's probably a little harder closer than I am.
I'm a
to
little
some
pushy
degree.
of a closer. Yeah. I can get pretty pushy on the close with people.
It's like, look, man, unless you want, it's like you either close right now on this deal, or I'm gonna send you a flyer every fucking day to my next open mic slot, and I better fucking see you in the crowd there.
So would you say that's like the primary difference in our styles is that you're a harder like on one call close?
I try. I mean, not even one call
Yeah.
close. I feel like I want to start conversations by saying, you have to give me a decision at the end of this conversation,
Mhm.
and then whenever we end the conversation, got to get a decision.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's like, I don't always. I mean, more often than not, I just prefer that just for my own
Sanity.
Yeah. It's got to be a thing where it's like, sometimes I'll talk to someone and I'll be like, hey, this product can help you in this way, and they'll be like, oh, okay, I agree. It's like, okay, can you afford this product? Like,
Mhm.
yes. Okay. If I show you how this could affect you individually
Mhm.
and change your business.
And that's just like good old fashioned like GoDaddy, like from our initial job at
Only
GoDaddy.
way I learned how to sell. Hannah Reeves, the most intense telemarketer I've ever met. The most like brutal. They called her Officer Hannah because she would call people on the phone and be like, hey, I need to talk to you about a sales pitch right now. They'd be like, I'm driving. She'd be like, pull over. And she would get multiple people to pull over on the fucking road, pull up their phone and go to the website and pitch them and sell them right there. And so it's like, they call it like, oh, you're going to need to pull up ahead, Officer Hannah.
Yeah.
And it's
Officer
like-
Hannah's got you got to slow down. You're going to.
And she was really mean to me until I got good at sales. But I don't know. I don't know if that's how like a coach is supposed to be.
You might have needed that early on.
Maybe.
You might have needed that.
I remember
needed that.
crying by the way she
I
talked
needed
to me.
that.
I would like, I was so sensitive. And now it's like,
Now you're dead inside.
oh yeah, absolutely. Has she ever shit blood? You're so stressed from work?
Shit blood.
All the time. Shit and blood nonstop. God.
I've definitely had abnormal shitting patterns and consistency based on stress related to the job. Oh my God. When I quit GoDaddy after like 2 years, I had the weirdest reaction to it. Like the first day, all I did was clean, just nonstop. The second, Then the second day I just screamed at the top of my lungs by myself, like to no
Wow.
one. Yeah. Just cause, and I was just like, I got away with a 2-year bank heist. Like I just would sing random songs to myself. And then on the third day, I just shit, just nonstop, just 2 years of fist pumps.
Yeah, 2 years of fist bumps and let's fucking goes.
Yeah,
The culture
and
at like
LFGs,
a fucking sales center is like so like cringe, and then you leave it. And you're
toxic
like, God, I love
positivity.
it. Yeah.
Toxic positivity is a good word.
It's like church where everyone has to be nice to you. That's what I like. It's like you go in, everyone's like, "How you doing, buddy? Good to see you." I'm like, God damn, you too, man. Let's fist bump.
That's why you like sales. It was a replacement for your church upbringing.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I fit right in.
You had like a central charismatic figure you'd have to follow, doing morning announcements. And you're just like, oh yeah, I won't say the name, but
Wait, so did GoDaddy have like a prize wheel you would spin?
Depends on the month, but I think to answer your question, because you'd have like certain spiffs, sales performance incentive is kind of like what it is, but where and some spiffs included a wheel, some included like top 5 this month get like their choice of free gifts, which could be like
A pork chop at Perry's Steakhouse.
sometimes like a team builder
That's a
dinners.
classic. I've only ever been to Perry's at Sales Accolade Lunch, but I've been to Perry's with 3 different companies.
If
It's the only time I've been is for
if
Sales
there were
Accolades.
like 10 sales offices around Perry's Steakhouse, would they have a business?
Yeah, for
like
real.
who would even go?
It is. And the weirdest thing about doing good at sales is you have to hang out with your boss. It's like your reward dinner with your boss. And it's like, oh, can I go to dinner with my chick and just give you guys the bill? like, I like
No.
it's like now everyone from your work and they want to get drunk with you. And it's like, oh, okay, you guys want to see us drunk? I'm gonna say some shit.
That is funny. Yeah, that is funny that like it is an incentive to lower your inhibitions around your superiors.
Yeah, that's
I'm like it seems like y'all are getting rewarded with seeing your top performers at their most vulnerable now.
Yeah, for real.
So
Getting
like
dirt.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, how many?
That's why I pour tea in the shot glass and then I just commit corporate espionage from that point on.
The thing I say at every sales job when I first get hired is like right after I start, and they're like, "Hey, so we're gonna do a team builder." I'm like, "I'll do one. I'll do
You
one.
get one from JT.
I will hang out with all of you one time, and it'll be fun. And then I will never go out with you guys after work again."
Mhm.
And people get really defensive about that, and they're like, "Oh," and it's like, "Yeah, I have a life that I'm fulfilling.
Mhm.
My life is not telemarketing with y'all. Love y'all. God bless y'all. Happy to see y'all." But if I start doing that, that's a horrible road to go down where I just neglect all the things that the reason I do sales for is to afford to do comedy, to afford to be able to do karate. You know what I mean? The things that like,
I mean, I think jobs forget. Well, they don't forget, but they just try to test our boundaries with how much they can get into our lives and get us to become like, free marketers for them outside of like the actual hours we put in.
That's
So,
something difficult about working from home is it's a real blurry line sometimes about how late I'll stay.
yeah, they did a better, like last year we really struggled with that, and then it caused a lot of headbutting. But yeah, this year it feels like they took a step back because they kind of recognized that and heard what we had to say.
It's hard to work from home. You like working from home? I prefer office.
It's
like
a mixed
real
bag.
separation.
It's a mixed bag. Like ideally, you'd have like some kind of hybrid schedule that's on your terms. But then what I hear is that whenever that happens and you go to the office, no one's there because everyone is working from home. So maybe like I don't know, a pseudo coordinated hybrid schedule, but just to get out of the fucking house sometimes, just to get out of the fucking house, because otherwise working from home kicks ass and it just beats the drudgery of like, first of all, the gas, the driving, the honestly, the fact that like sometimes your boss is hovering over you can make you less efficient and so I mean,
I want to have the free kombucha on tap. I love the tech company thing, like the tech company cheesiness.
the ping pong table.
Yeah,
I mean,
just designed to keep us from
miss
starting a
ping
union.
pong.
I'm not going to start a union. Just let me hit the phones. I promise. I want to drink your kombucha. I want to like have the free little yogurt snacks in your fridge. I want to start a union.
I want the free barista.
Yeah. Oh, free barista.
That was the ultimate.
We had
part.
at GoDaddy. This is like the most douchebag shit in the world. It was incredible.
It was.
We had a houndstooth barista in the office that would make us drinks, and I was only at that office for like 2 months. No, only 1 month. I was only there for 1 month, and then we moved to the newer office.
Yeah, man.
That was wild.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
So do you remember? Can I tell like the story of like when? And this is when I noted that this I think in my estimation is when you were first like, I think I'm going to be a salesperson.
When is this?
You were at Juice Land.
Oh yeah.
I was on break and I'd come down and get a juice from you and stuff like that. I loved seeing you at Juice Land. Every time I went to Juice Land, I was like, I hope JT's here.
Because I would steal from work for him.
He would give me a free thing. He would also just be like doing finger guns at everybody and just like making jokes and riffs in between. And then whenever I'm in there, he's like, "Oh, Bobby, what's up, man?" And then like I went into the side room where you're like in the fridge, and then you're just like, "Yeah, man, I think I want to get out of the I think I just want to get out of the service industry life. I just can't do it anymore. I can't do, like we all hit a wall with that." And then you're just like, so what are you doing? You're in sales, right? How much money are you making? And then I just like gave you a general estimate, and you're just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You just go, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, I'm gonna do this now. And then I was like, all right, man. And my biggest thing was like, could you get JT to focus 8:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday? Could you channel his energy like for that amount of time for it? And it's just been a resounding yes. And just like ever since you committed to that. I was just like, fuck, man, you just took off and ran with it.
Yeah, Ryan lined me up with my friend. He got me. He referred me and talked to the hiring person for me because I had no experience at all service industry stuff and like production stuff.
Mhm.
And it was exactly. I saw Wolf of Wall Street after, and so I thought if I tell people that story at work, they would think I was like doing a thing. And that's what happened. I was like, fuck you. You make good money just telemarketing? I was like, that's you hit on the phones, you call people, you talk to them, they give you a credit card. I was like, I didn't know that was a job. I thought that was insane. I was like, that I didn't know you could just that sounds illegal. And like, it's nuts.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
I love to call it telemarketing because it kind of shows you who grew up rich. Because like when you call it telemarketing and people act like, whoa, it's like, yeah, dude, you think you're better than me and you went to college. If I went to college, I would call it phone sales. You know what I mean? If I went to college, I'd be like,
you have the same job as all those college grads, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're in the same job, doing the same things, and doing a better job than a lot of them. So
did you go to college, Brian?
I did. I went to UT.
Oh, I wish I went to college. That's a regret I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. I graduated super early, and so I started to go to college, and it was just not for me. I wanted to do comedy. I was like, oh, this sounds horrible.
At least you knew that at a young age.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I would have done a backup plan, though, right? Even my most successful friends still had a backup plan and good jobs while they were doing comedy. Or
yeah, I mean, like, but here's the thing. I got a theater degree. You know, like I got a theater degree. I got a business minor. So that's like, but that business minor didn't really get my foot in the door with GoDaddy. You know, like the fact that they were desperate enough to hire someone like me. It was Main Street Hub at the time, which would explain it. But then not a lot to separate those companies. Like they got acquired like a month into me working there. But
yeah.
But yeah, it was just the fact that they were in a hiring boom and they needed someone roughly like, I don't know, like us who could honestly just shoot the shit. And they're like, well, we could, we're a little chit chatter, little chit chat funny boy. Think you can make funny little salesy jokes. All right. See, you know,
keep them on the line.
Yeah. It's a hard racket, but you know, there's learning curve. You took to it, man. It's fish to water. Way better than most college grads. And so, you know, who gives a shit?
What I like is
people talk about trade school for like, you know, like metalwork and plumbing and stuff like that. Like trade school for like sales and stuff and like that kind of stuff. I guess that's what liberal arts college is. Sorry, what were you gonna say? I
don't know, probably something about telemarketing. It's fun. I tell everyone that works in service industry, like, you should be a telemarketer. It's like, are you friendly? Are you smart? Can you handle people?
But you tell them telemarketer, and then that puts them off to it. Yeah. Just say, use the fancy word like account executive.
Software. I do software as a solution sales. I love meeting people that are like in good sales jobs, and like their first job was the same as my first job. And it's crazy because there's so much like
there's a lot of jargon I keep off. Like I just don't like get into the weeds in that. You know, like when they're like, oh, SaaS. I'm like, I never say SaaS like in my fucking life, but like you just see it everywhere. You know?
I sell a marketing solution.
Yeah.
I work. Sometimes I even just say I work in marketing because I don't want to tell people I'm a telemarketer. And if they ask,
open SaaS cloud-based sharing capabilities for your small business.
Exactly. Yeah. I sell cloud computing solutions.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be a nuts job. I talk to people who like sell like cyber. And it's like, so what do you do? It's like, oh, I essentially offer like a safe way for companies to store their data. And it's like, no, you don't. There's no safe. But I like where your head's at. You know what I mean? It's like, that's cool.
That's because we were talking about it. Yeah, the difference between a business and a scam is like, did it end up working? You know, it's like the job can be illegal. It just depends on, do services get rendered or not? You know, like, is the company going to follow through on the promise? I mean, thankfully, we've been in jobs where like that's largely the case.
I've only had one shady sales job. And it was hard.
Shogun?
Yeah, Shogun.
Yeah.
I got a job there and I quit within 2 weeks because I thought we were just selling like a software.
Like predatory loan software?
Yeah, it was predatory loan software. I thought it was just normal software, normal loan software, but it was like when you look at the loans, it's like, oh, these are predatory loans.
This is the Pelican brief, man. You just like open up the wrong like broom closet. You see like documents you're not supposed to.
Dude, I put on my Pelican briefs. I got the fuck out. It was something where it was like, I realized what I was selling, and I like was like, I'll do anything.
I remember you told me.
Yeah, I was like, this is bad.
That's what brought you. That's what brought you here.
Yeah,
you know,
now I have a great sales job. Oh my god, best sales job I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
I love it. Love it with my whole heart.
No, same.
I like have never had a sales job where it's like you make good money and you're not selling like a shitty product.
Yeah,
and now I do both.
It is a great product, you know, and
the
so
GoDaddy product was like, it didn't actually line up with the numbers we were given.
Pretty hit, yeah.
Totally. You have a 30%. You're going to see a 30% increase in click to call.
Yeah, I never
No, you're
really,
not.
gave like the tangible like
One time,
metrics.
I was on the phone because like we did this thing called call coaching where your manager would get on your headset and speak over you.
Dude,
and
in the script
you
that
would
I'm
carry.
writing, this is what I want to expose is call coach. Call coaching is such a crazy advent
It's
that
crazy.
like, yeah.
But like they go God voice right into your ears and then you parrot
Yeah.
what they're saying. And so I get on the line with this guy who like he has a treadmill repair company
Mm.
and I'm selling software. I mean, I'm selling a
marketing
for his social medias and stuff. And I just tear his current situation apart. My manager sees it, loves
pain
it.
points, baby.
Pain points. I'm saying like everyone that finds you on Yelp, I'd never click to call this guy. I would, there's no way I'd judge you, hire you based on your Facebook page. This is horrible. You'll be a scam. Blah blah blah. So he's like, "What do you do?" Like, I'll tell you what we do. I go
That's
over.
the gaslighting. You look like a scam,
Yeah,
buddy.
You look like
on my
yeah.
sketchy software.
And so I get him all the way through the close, and I can't close him. So my manager jumps on. She's call coaching, and she is tearing this guy apart. She's like, "Don't you want to build for your family, your daughter? Don't you care about your daughter's future? Don't you want to
Oh
have
my
something?"
God.
And like I'm saying all this feeling
It's
horrible.
little heavy. Yeah. He buys.
Gives me $399. I get off. I fucking cry. I call my dad, and I'm like, "Hey, I might have just done something really bad." And like I'm
I
crying
feel dirty, Dad.
in my Uber chair. So there's like
Dirty.
another couple in the Uber with me, and I'm sitting in the backseat crying, talking to my dad as quiet as I can, being like, and my manager said, "Don't you want to be a good dad?" And then, but here's the thing: I tell a guy on my break the next day about it. Like this guy, I was like, "Dude, I feel weird about this job right now because I was starting to do really good," and I'm like, I got like my manager said this isn't bot, dude. And he was like, "What's the name of the company?" I texted him. Fucking like a month later, he sends me a message and shows me his Facebook and Yelp. And not only do they look great, but he's talking about new reviews he's gotten from the social media.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit, this can work.
There are success stories.
It was the most.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
I went selling crazy after that. I was so convinced. I was like, this will save your business. You have no, this is, and then
that was always what got me going. You know, it was like I'd bring up
Mhm.
my customers and show their examples and their photo shoots and everything. And so, I mean, there's no more powerful sell than like when you believe it. And people can feel it.
Yeah.
That's why sales is depressing when you don't sell what you believe in. You know?
Because you can't sell it.
you can, but like it'll crush your soul. But then if you lack one already, then great. You know, that's what arms dealers are. You know, but
that would be an interesting sell. I told a guy at a wedding, I said, "Oh, I'm in sales," and he said, "What, medical devices?" And I was like,
you just went straight there.
Weird guess.
I sell catheters.
So catheters.
Catheters and catheter accessories.
Catheter market, yeah. See a lot of early reps fall into that trap. They fall in love with someone who they had a good initial conversation with them. They don't have that many sales, so everyone who seems willing to buy, like, oh, I got to close this guy. But that person makes a decision, oh, it's not for me right now, and then they start ghosting you, but then they start chasing, and then they don't chase new money or new leads, and then they get stuck on like this depressing loop of like, oh, I'm going to call Jordy again. And I'm like, dude, Jordy does not want to talk to you.
Jordy doesn't want you.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that when you, because like is like cheesy as this sounds, being in sales is like emotionally draining because like you're connecting with people, you're talking to people, and like you're learning about them. Like you're doing that for 8 hours just on the phone talking to people, and like so you have that experience with someone, you've talked to them, you've done all that, and then it's like, how much can I how far into you being clearly not into this should I still continue to see if there is a chance of closing you, because I'll just keep chasing it. And it's like, it's hard to let go. You have to let go. You have to do exactly what you said, where it's like, yep, just gotta, get back out
Move
there.
on. Yeah.
Maybe in a year or so, you'll call me back and say, I was so wrong. I wish I would have bought your product. You'll be homeless.
And then I'll be like, well, because the price went up.
Price went up. Price went up. Watercrafts like jet skis.
Yeah.
So this guy repaired them outside. I think it was Davie, Florida, or one of the little areas you
common
call
industry.
If you're familiar with telemarketing.
Prime plan candidate because it includes TripAdvisor.
Prime plan candidate.
It includes TripAdvisor. All right,
oh yeah, calling this guy, and he's saying, I work on watercrafts. And I'm like, well, you got to get a better social media. If I wanted to fix my watercraft, and he was like, well, if you go to any dealership in this state, they'll give you my phone number. I'm the only guy that works on these types of watercrafts. Yeah. He's like, I'll make $35,000 a month. And I was like, what?
Yeah, he probably does the jetpacks and all that stuff and like the super specialized.
There was like a certain time period of of jet skis, watercrafts with the actual term. He was very insistent on that, that he works on, that dealerships don't work on anymore. And he's like, I'm the only guy in the state. He's like, I got a warehouse full of parts. No one has it. And then he's like, you could come out and work for me. And he was like, you can come out. I could hire you right now. I'll teach you how to do this.
Yeah, I got a couple.
I fucking sold the salesman.
Yeah. No, I got a couple of those.
I
for
love
sure,
when I'm
yeah.
telling to someone and they offer me a
And
job.
then, yeah, same.
That's
same.
the best. When I'm
Yeah,
like,
that
well,
is.
what's your plan look like? And they
Yeah,
laugh, I laugh, but it's like, but seriously,
No, but seriously,
But
yeah.
dude, I was trying to sell this
You
guy.
said you liked me.
I was
Prove
working
it.
at Chive TV selling their TV stuff.
Mm.
I tried to sell this guy who's like owns a tire shop in Seabrook. I spent 6 hours on the phone with him over the course of 2 months. And like, I would be like, his name's Martin Walsh. I'd call him back, Mr. Walsh, it's Jeff again. And he would just be like, oh, Jeff, I don't have time for this. It's not a good idea. Would spend hours back and forth with me, letting me just like glove off, being like, if you care about your business, you're telling me you don't care about
too polite to
increasing your
just hang
profit.
up on you.
Dude,
He's
and
just
he would
too polite to hang up on
battle for hours and just go toe to toe with me. He enjoyed it. It's like
Yeah,
those types
yeah,
of people
yeah.
where it's like, I'm saying things like, if I'm telling you I can not only, decrease perceived wait time, but increase referrals, that's something that you don't find valuable. Well, of course, I'd be foolish not to say that'd be valuable, Jeff. Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean?
You ever use the term? It's like, I'll give you this so you feel like you won today.
Mhm.
Not exact. Yeah, not that exact phrase, but yeah, a version of that for sure.
Yeah, because they'll always be like, well, we want this instead, or like, give me a lower rate on this. Sometimes you just like,
$50 off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want $50 out of my commission, and then you make them feel bad about it. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
think I worked hard for this, buddy? Yeah, okay, no, here's $50 out of my pocket. This is gonna go to my daughter's.
here, hop on Zoom. I want to show you the $50 leaving my wallet right fucking now.
Here, let me light it on fire for you.
Yeah.
I like it when people pretend like they don't have money. That's like my favorite type of
Mhm.
client you get, where they're like, oh, I don't know if I can afford something like this. Do you take Amex? Yeah, we take Amex.
Yeah. I like, yeah, exactly. No, that's always the funniest part. Like they're battling me on price, then do you take Amex? Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
something.
Oh, we take Amex. Oh, that's a credit.
Oh
card.
yeah, baby.
Yeah,
We take it.
We take that. Man,
Yeah,
I gotta go to karate class, fellas.
Karate or jujitsu?
It's jiu-jitsu.
Is it jujitsu or wrestling?
It's wrestling, but it's called jiu-jitsu. It's like a type of wrestling, grappling, right?
Right, jujitsu.
Okay,
You know what really frustrated me was there was some kind of, it was like playing heads up, and there was some, and the word was jujitsu, and then one of the words, like one of the hint words, or like it was something where you had to like guess a word, an approximation to this like martial art, and it said kick, and the ironic part is like, and it was like because there's kicking in this martial art, but it was like an explicitly non-kicking martial art too. So I was like so pissed. I was like, the more you know about jujitsu, the less helpful this is.
Have you done jiu-jitsu before?
Never done it. I did
fun.
camp. I boxed in high school,
Doesn't
and I'm
surprise
back
me.
to boxing. Lately. So that's been fun. But
Nice.
yeah, we'll let you get back to class.
What do you want to plug?
By the time this comes out, my show will be happening. So, I run a show with another comedian also from Austin. His name is Austin Silver. He lives in LA, so we actually co-run a number of shows together. So we have one at the Federal. We have JC Carias doing that one. Avital Ash, who is just on the new season of Barry. That's going to be tomorrow, so I'm flying out tonight to LA to catch it.
Nice.
And then we're going to do another spot at Austin's work too. They've agreed to host us and sponsor us, so we're going to do that show in a few days on the 25th. But otherwise, I'm in LA. So follow me and I'll post my dates, and I'm in Austin a lot too. So if you're in either of those two markets, and I'll be touring coming up. I don't know exactly where I will be, but
Where can we follow you?
oh yeah, my Instagram is just at Brian Bogart, BRIN .Bogart at Brian.Bogart. And that's pretty much my primary social media. Not really on TikTok necessarily, but if I am, you'll find out through that Instagram probably. So find me there.
JT's a up and coming TikTok star.
JT's always meant for stardom.
Oh, yeah, almost at 10,000 followers at like 8 something.
Awesome. I mean, that's awesome, man.
Look at me, TikTok boy.
Yeah,
Do
TikTok.
my little dances.
Teach
Tell
me
my
how to
little
TikTok,
stories.
buddy. Teach me how to
Teach me how
TikTok.
to TikTok.
Yeah.
Teach me how to TikTok.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Brian, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you for having me. It's been an honor meeting you finally, Robert.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert over here.
yeah. I'm a bobhead.
Awesome. I got a shower.
One aside. Swerve, the rims is glistening. They got see the wood cause the top is missing. I sleep on dreams cause it's paper I'm chasing. My roots come from Texas, this inflation. One aside. One aside. One aside. run aside.